Let's go. Cairo Davis, what's going on, champ?
What's going on?
Damn, finally get an interview with the champ. Lord have mercy. I hope that's because you locked in.
You gotta communicate better. You got, you gotta communicate better.
Okay. Ain't you out here in Vegas?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas.
See, I got to communicate. I live in Vegas. I'm yet to get even an invite. I ain't even get to see you hit the bag.
You hit me first, and I had hit you back, and then you didn't hit me in a few days.
You at DLX because I was there yesterday for 2 hours and Kyrone ain't show up. Ain't nobody show up.
I'll
I
be
was only talking to Lonnie. Lonnie B was there.
I'll be there when nobody's there.
Private sesh.
Yeah.
But you in camp with Plant or you got your own time?
So we know we both trade with bread.
I
So
know. That's why
we
I
just
asked.
yeah we split our time. So either I'll go in first, and then Plant come after me, or Caleb will
I,
go in, or I go in, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Depending on sparring and timing and stuff like that.
well, I'm inviting myself. Send me the times. I'm
So
trying
I
to
get
come
you in there.
trying to
I
come
get you in
see you,
there.
man. But long overdue, bruh. How do you feel about this fight? I'm gonna say what you may not want to say. Like I feel like this some bullshit. It's a great fight, but why they throwing you at another dude that needs your name? Like, ain't it time to get a title shot, bruh? Like you've been at this shit for a minute.
I think that you get tough skin in this business. You learn to just you go with the flow of things. Things happen for a reason, and you just stay prepared. As an athlete, I can't get too much into the business part of it because I'll be taking myself out of like fight mode. But it is what it is. This opportunity is cool. We taking it very seriously, and we need to win.
For sure, man. What do you think of this guy? They're touting him as a puncher. His record seems to indicate that, but he hasn't been on that level, and he certainly hasn't fought a Benavidez and the level of competition that you've been in there and defeated.
Yeah, I mean, they say a lot of things about a lot of people. They say I've been in there with people that are supposed to be punches. I've been in there with certified punches. I've been in there with you know, certified monsters. This type of that type of stuff. What people say never matters to me. My last fight, I was a 10-1 underdog. What people say don't really matter. It's what you do inside the ring. I can't really get into like what people think. People like to jump on hype trains and do a lot of things. I just get ready and prepare for what I gotta do. None of that shit matter. All this media, no offense, don't really matter. When it comes to like what happens in that square circle.
Do you think this could be your run that you go on?
Absolutely, I'm on a run right now. I'm on a run. So that's what's about to happen. We about to take this all the way to the bank, and we gonna get a world title.
Did you get options, or was he the only fight offered?
I know, as you know, we had the guy, the Italian guy. They were looking into the what's his Othio. I can't even pronounce his name, but he was an Italian guy. He's ranked maybe like one above me on Ring Magazine. But they had us fight for like an IBF eliminator, and this was on the table as well. We just was looking at the circumstances and what everything behind it, because he was ranked a little in front of me. The purse bid was going to be in his favor, of course. We was going to have to possibly have to fight over there. If we didn't, if PBC didn't outbid them, so it was just some things that we were just thinking about, and this was a good option as well. So we just said, you know what, we're gonna fight in Las Vegas on with Caleb.
Edinosa Alaha.
Is that it? Edinoso Oleha, number 5, 6 in the ring.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
him. So
Um.
that
Go
was
ahead.
that was the initial that was one of the initial offers, and it was some other people. But this is a. I like fighting guys. Listen. I like fighting competition. This guy's supposed to be good. We like that. I don't. I'm not one of those fighters that's like try to get like the easy way out or anything like that. Like, well, let's just do what we got to do. Let's fight. I'm like a throwback kind of fighter. If I'm the best, I'm the best in the world. I'm not the best of these people or those people. I'm the best in the world. We got to prove that.
What did Breadman say about this opponent? What's his
Um,
thoughts?
we kind of share the same settlement. He's a good fighter. He's talented. He has a good amateur background. He has skills. At this level, everybody can fight. You know, everybody can have their day, and you gotta be 100% prepared for everybody who get in the ring. If it's Laura, if it's Adames, if it's if it's Hernandez that we fight in 31st. You know, we gotta be ready. We gotta be prepared. Like we fight in the best fighter ever.
Sure. Yeah, man, this is definitely a big fight. Tone, you got anything before I go to the people's questions?
Yeah, salute Chiron. You broke my heart, man, when you beat my fellow Arizonian Elijah Garcia, man.
I
You
apologize.
put hands and feet on that man, respectfully. Um, I wanted to ask you about David Benavidez. What is it about him that makes Canelo hesitant to pull the trigger in fighting him? And it seemed like he can't get a fight right now because Callum Smith is going another direction. Like, what is it about him where now people's like, nah, I don't want that squabble?
Canelo has to have a long career. You know, he has had a long career. He has fought some great guys. He has fought on the B side. He's elevated to the A side. He's became the superstar. And I think that he just gets offended sometimes with the way that it's brought up, the way that Benavidez has approached him about it. I think that he just gets offended. I think that he takes boxing with a little bit more like over honor type of thing. Like it's more of an honor, like to be in this position, and you should be grateful, and
Mm,
when he sees Benavidez, Benavidez young and he's hungry and he's brash, and and sometimes he's bold with his words. I think that he takes a little offense to it, some of the things that Benavidez says, and I think he'll let him take the long road. I've talked
hey,
to Canelo personally. I 100% know that he's not afraid of Benavidez. We actually talked about the fight, um, and it's not that he won't fight him. It's just I think he's at a stage of his career right now. Is if everybody wants this fight so much, then you guys gonna put up the money for it.
damn. Okay.
How do you see that fight with Buzz? Since my co-host brought up Canelo, I mean, you've been around this game and a lot of these fighters for a while. I'm sure you told me you've been in Bud's camp. Like, can he pull it off?
Yeah, I sparred with Bud, and I also been in the ring with Canelo. It's a great fight. I think that it's going to be tough for the size. I think the size is a little bit different than people understand. Like, put it like this: when they did the face off, right? Um, uh, Terrence Crawford was at his walk around weight, and Canelo's at his fight weight, so they look a little closer. But I think when Bud actually gets down to 168 and they match up, I think Canelo's going to be a little big and a little comfortable taking the punches at that weight class. I think that it's going to be tough. I think that Crawford could definitely make it a tough fight because he's so talented. His foot speed, his hand speed, his athleticism, his competitiveness. It's not going to be a boring fight. If I had to bet, I would bet Canelo, but it's not far fetched to think that Crawford could pull it off like he always does. But if I had to bet, I would bet Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
And it's a tough fight because my coach he's going for Crawford, so it's not like one of those fights where what I mean. Everybody's on the same page, and that's what we want in boxing. We want competition, so I think that is good. I know some people complain like, well, we wanted the Benavidez fight, and I think people should be grateful because this is a good fight.
I got a couple questions from the people. First one is from James in San Antonio, Texas. He says, I, "You just answered that. You just answered that. It was having fought David Benavidez. If he ever fights Canelo, how do you think that fight plays out?" Oh, actually, that's a different question. Having fought David Benavidez and sparring Canelo, how does that fight play out?
Um, I think that's a really good fight too. I think that's a really good fight. Canelo, I think he punches significantly harder than Benavidez. Benavidez' hand speed and pressure and presence is a big deal, but Canelo has a presence as well. I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good back and forth fight. I think experience is going to play a big part of it. I think youthness is going to play a good part of it as a 50-50 fight.
Mm, nice.
I have Treese in Toledo, Ohio. He says, "What's your thoughts on Charles Conwell, and what is your favorite brand of gloves?"
Um, well, I didn't watch the last Charles Conwell lost. Did he?
Yeah,
Didn't he lose?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I heard about it. I heard about it before. I heard he looked a little sluggish. I don't really have much to say about it because I didn't watch it. And my favorite pair of gloves is for sparring is winning. To fight in now is no boxing, no life. I just like the way it feels on my hands when I'm fighting.
Really? Did you buy your first pair or did he give you your first pair?
So he he kind of sold me on it because they gave it to me. They gave me a pair while we was training, and I kind of fell in love with it. Now they sponsor me. So all my gloves all the gloves they give me for the
Nice.
fights.
Congrats, congrats. Um, we got a few more. Huang out of Houston says, great performance last time in the ring. As a fighter, I would like your opinion as to why so many professional boxers seem to have thin skin when it comes to criticism. Hmm.
I don't know. I think boxing is an art, and when people take their creativity and their art seriously, um, especially when it comes to who's criticizing them.
Hmm.
Especially when a lot of people don't know a lot about boxing, and the questions that they ask are a lot of times insulting because you guys are asking them in a way to where you don't really understand. Like if you watch the Andre Ward podcast and you see how comfortable boxers are talking to Andre
Yeah,
Ward,
I've noticed that and
um,
I've said that, bro.
you
They open up with him.
it's because the way that he's talking to them, he understands. He's talking to them in a perspective that a boxer will understand and can feel. Sometimes these people
He's
that
also
haven't been in.
super accomplished though, right? Like it's easier for y'all to relate when that like it's not like me. Like I'm not on your level. I've never been in
I,
the ring
I
like
don't.
you have, but Ward is super accomplished. Like he's a Hall of
It's
Famer.
it's perspective because even if a guy say Elijah Garcia was asking me questions about boxing, he would know how to ask him.
Okay.
He'll know how to talk to me about it. Like we could talk about training camp and having a hard weight cut, and we could talk about certain things in boxing that only boxers can actually express and say it in a certain kind of way. It's just language, it's lingo. I think that as I think if you're not just because you're not a boxer don't mean that you can't do it either. I think it comes with experience and understanding what we actually go through and how we actually feel about certain situations in the ring. And I think that if when the questions are asked correctly, the boxers don't get offended. I think the boxers just answer the question. But I think sometimes it gets a little annoying hearing the same questions and the questions sometimes being insultful or condescending.
Mm. Amazing answer, champ. Thank you for breaking that down. What's up, Kyron? This one is from Ali and Dago 619 says, who are your top three favorite fighters of all time?
Wow. Top three favorite fighters of all time. Number one is Roy Jones. Number two, um, Floyd Mayweather. Number three, it's close. It's either James Toney or Winky Wright.
Mm. Good list. Good list. Next one. Quest in Virginia. Yo, what's up, champ? Blind rank these five movies. Bad Boys. So it's five. So you have to put
Okay.
Bad Boys either one through five.
Which one?
Oh, it's the first one, I guess, because he didn't put two.
Three.
Number three. All right. Barbershop.
Four.
Rush Hour.
Two.
Friday.
One.
Juice.
Three.
Okay, okay. I thought you was gonna be like,
Okay.
damn, I should have put Juice number one. Okay.
Now I like Juice, but Juice not better than Friday. But Juice is up there. Juice is better than Bad Boy.
Donald from Baton Rouge. What fight made you bring that dog out of you?
I think that all fights they bring a different side of the dog out of you. Sometimes you gotta be mentally focused and be disciplined. That's hard sometimes. Sticking to a game plan, changing the game plan mid fights. That's the dog. That takes dog. That's why a lot of people mess up. They can't stick to a game plan. And I think that but I think my the most dog I had to bring out of me. If you watch a long time ago, this is a long time ago. I fought Marcos Hernandez. It was his first. He was undefeated. I fought him in California, and I had to dig real deep to for that win. You know, he was rolling. I was in his hometown, and I had to really I threw maybe 1,000 punches in that fight. I had to
Yeah,
dig
nah,
deep,
man. Marcos is a tough contender, man. His nickname was
especially
Madman.
especially when he was coming up. He was undefeated, and he didn't want to lose. He was fighting his hometown. He was, you know what I mean. We was a co-main. We was on TV. It was when we doing that toe to toe Tuesday on PPC. It was a big moment for him and for me, and I was able to pull that victory out with. I was all heart though.
I thought you was gonna say the Benavidez fight, because even though it's a loss, like we seen you kick up, like I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like
I mean, yeah, that brought a dog out of me, but I don't know if I wouldn't say brought a dog out of me because I went in there feeling like that because it was 16-day notice. I wasn't supposed to be there. They didn't give me a good time to train. I took the opportunity and I went in there just like we gonna just fight today. Today you got to beat me. We not gonna just be in here getting a paycheck. We gonna see what this is. And that's how I fought. And that's how I kind of take all my fights, man. I don't, I don't the other weekend kind of upset me with seeing how some of the performances was circumstances wise. I think that in New York City, fighting in front of a lot fewer people than they're used to, in the situation that they fought in, I think that might have brought the intensity of the fights down. But man, I'm a type of fighter. I like action. But I like the science, but I like action too. You know, and I like going through different levels apart when you in a fight. I know by a lot of boxers are gonna understand me when I say this, but like there's ebbs and lows and flows in the fight where you take a shot which you're not comfortable to, and you got to make an adjustment, and you have to get over that, and then you find cruise control, and your stamina starts to kick in, and you start to find that second win. It's like those moments right there. When I think about boxing, those are my favorite moments. Is like having to get through certain obstacles in a fight.
damn. So you rather have obstacles? You don't want a smooth sailing?
It's always an obstacle. So even like my last fight where I dominated, it was obstacles in that fight that I had to deal with mentally, and obstacles I had to deal with when just the circumstances. You know what I mean? They're not. You can't always see it, and it's not always so big. But it's certain moments that where you notice certain things. Like in the fifth round, you might notice he breathing a little heavy in the round, and you look at him, and you can those moments that I live for. Like where this moment right here means something.
James Benitez in Atlanta says Kelvin Davis was just interviewed and says he doesn't know who Kyrone Davis is. Do you not
Okay.
know each other, or is he hating on you?
Um, I don't know him personally. I know him because of his brother. We never. I don't think we ever ran into each other or talked to each other.
That's crazy. You out here in Vegas too. You know he's trained by Beaumont. But you in
Yeah,
BLX, I get it. Maybe if you just focus going gym to home, you ain't gonna bump into him
yeah.
because
I mean,
they in top rank.
yeah, yeah. I'm going gym to my back to the condo and back to the gym and do my other things. And I'm not running the streets.
You in the booth out here or what? Or you leave that? You don't let that. You don't do
I
that
brought
during
my
camp.
I brought my recording studio to my condo, so I'll be making music. So, y'all, everybody who know me know that that's my release. That's kind of like my video game, like it's what I do to express myself. So, I
For
brought my
sure.
studio, so that's what I'll be doing inside the crib.
For sure. For sure. Um, let's see here. We got
Champ,
B3's. Go ahead, champ.
I wanted to ask you, like, I don't know, did you ever fight in the bubble during the pandemic?
I fought Anthony Durrell in the bubble.
Okay, so there was no crowd there. And last Friday, they had the Times Square stuff. Like, and
Yeah.
they was saying, well, Ryan and Barboza was saying like there was no vibes in there because it felt like a sparring session. How much does the crowd matter, like to you? Because you fought in the actual bubble. So was you cool with it, or was like, does that crowd like get Chiron like get you lit?
I mean,
It's the same. It's the same thing to me.
Mm.
Uh, it's the same thing to me. You still gotta do what you gotta do. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Once you locked in, I'm focusing on winning. It doesn't really bother me if it's a big crowd or if it's a small crowd. So, but it's a slight difference. But it didn't affect the performance. It kind of just affected, maybe just like my my mindset before the fight, but not like while you in the fight. While you in the fight, somebody's still throwing punches at you, so it don't really
Right.
change that much.
That was
And then the
another
bubble,
one too, right? Would you say that's another fight that brought the dog out of you? Because I know you absolutely felt you won that fight.
I did win that fight, so it brought. I had to be strategic in that fight, and I had to be on my game. I was the most accomplished fighter that I've ever been in the ring with at the time. So that brought a different side of me out, as well. But I definitely 100% won that fight. I believe. But they ended it in a draw, and that is what it is. In boxing, you just go with the moments. Like you're not gonna always get you're not gonna always get the fair shake, especially in my position. I had to fight in tooth and nail to get myself in certain situations that I'm in right now. I mean, I had to fight myself B side all the way up this motherfucker, and and just to get noticed. So you do what you got to do.
For sure. Champ, I got B3 boxing picks out of Virginia. What's your thoughts on Terrell Gausha versus Elijah Garcia? In your opinion, did Garcia's pressure and bodywork deserve the win over Gausha's clean punching?
I thought that I think he was getting too hit with too many right hands. I think Terrell Boucher seen what I did to him, and as a smart fighter, he did. He took the blueprint. I think he was getting hit too clean. I think it was moments where um Garcia was out hustling him a little bit, but I don't think that was enough for for them to give it to Elijah. I don't think that he should have won, but it was a good fight, and I thought Terrell Boucher won.
All right, Rod in LA. Can we expect to see you fight Adames or Laura this year?
We'll see what happens. I'm not looking past nobody. We gotta win this fight. It's a tough fight, so we gotta win this fight, and then we talk about that after that.
I know what you just said, but do you think the WBA actually gives you Laura if you beat this guy? Because you're the belt under Laura, right? Or
Yeah.
one of the
So
belts
yeah,
under Laura.
yeah. I mean, I don't think so.
Mm,
I want
damn.
it. Hopefully we get it. You know what I mean? But you never know. Boxing is things happen. So my fault. I'm putting my charger in. Things happen. Hopefully we get the fight. Hopefully we can like get him in the ring. But if not, then it's time for him to retire. It's time for him to retire and give the belt up.
Word. Major media, if you were to create a player in a boxing game, what would be your rating for power, speed, and ring IQ?
For myself,
Yep.
I don't know how to calibrate that. 100, 100, 100. I don't even know. I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to calibrate that though. It depends what rating system you go to. I'm a better puncher than people think I am. When people get in the ring with me, they definitely know that. And they always say that. IQ, but my experience is my IQ it has grown tremendously. The things that I know and things that I can do to make the fight easier nowadays is like night and day, and you will see that 31st. And was that speed? I think I have this decent hand speed, so I think I'm an all around type of fighter. I do a lot of things well, and I think that my mind definitely gives the people trouble when I fight them. That's why when I get in the ring with these top level fighters, short notice or not, I give them a hard time. You know, I was able to give Anthony Durrell a hard time. That's why I beat him. I was and even not conditioned training for 16 days was able to give Benavidez a hard time. I was able to give Elijah Garcia a super hard time doing what he usually does. Um, my IQ has taken me to where I am right now.
I got Mr. Benny Hinn. The business of boxing is ugly when it comes to Tyrone Davis. Zero reasons you shouldn't be fighting Laura next or now. What type of cardio do you do to prepare for your Nelly's Hernandez? And do you feel your camp was harder than the actual fight when you fought Elijah Garcia?
That's a loaded question. Uh, um, yeah, I feel like that I should be fighting for a world title, but you know what I mean. Everything happens for a reason. We gotta fight this next fight. So it is what it is. I'm not getting into that. When it comes to like getting ready, training camp is always harder than a fight. It's always harder than a fight, and it's supposed to be. If it's not, then you're probably gonna have some trouble in a fight. Um, I, for the Logic Garcia fight, because he had to do two training camps. Because remember, he got sick the first time we were supposed to fight, and then we came back, and then we fought. So we were supposed to fight. We went all the way to the day before the weigh-in. He got sick, and then we had to retrain for the next fight. And because that was like a double camp, I definitely took a lot out of my body. But yeah, you run. That's cardio. You know, there's a bunch of stuff we do to get ready for a fight. Everybody got their own way in their body, the way it works. But um, you just work hard. Try to answer everything. I think I did.
Yeah. Malcolm in New York City, you get a one-time ability to bring back any celebrity or athlete of your choice and spend the entire day with who, I guess he meant to say him or her, who would you bring back and why?
Man, I don't know.
Tupac,
Uh,
you a rapper. Tupac. Spend a
yeah,
whole
but
day with Pac? Ah, damn, I'm old. He said, damn. So what rapper would you bring back until you figure out who you would bring back
what rapper I would bring back?
to spend an entire day with?
Man, that's a hard question, man. It's too many legends that have passed. That's a hard question for me. I don't know, but I'll James Brown would be a cool guy to hang with all day.
Wow. Okay.
Oh
James Brown
yeah,
be a
it'll
cool
be
guy to
lit.
hang with.
Hey.
He know how to have fun. See, I feel like Tupac had like fake fun, like James Brown had that real raw fun. Like he really show you some shit. You know what I'm saying? So maybe James Brown.
Dope, dope, dope. We got Shines Suits here. Can you elaborate on your conversation with Brian Norman Sr.? What do you think of the fight between Norman and Cuevas?
Um,
This is an old question because we were supposed to get you on. It's 4 weeks old, by the way. So maybe this
yeah,
is before the Cuevas fight. Maybe you did something on Mill City with Norman Jr. before the Cuevas fight or after. I don't know. Just
yeah.
trying
I
to
feel
help
like
you.
I feel like I know I was on. I did talk to him for a little, but I can't really remember who we was talking about. But yeah, Brian Norman is coming along. I think we talked a little bit about him fighting Boots, maybe. Um, I don't know. Brian Norman is doing his thing though. He's progressing. He's getting better. So, you know, that's what I can say about him.
Dre in San Diego, if you could have any music artist walk you out to the ring, who would you choose?
Right now, Burner Boy.
Okay, that's
That'll be
Oh, you
fire.
crazy.
like Burna Boy, the
I,
Afro
That'll be
beats?
fire.
I
Yeah, that'll
got
be
some
fire.
shit on my playlist old from him that I listen to. That's
Yeah,
dope.
that'll be fire.
Um,
What style of rapping would you say that you is like? I know rappers don't like to be compared, but like what vibes?
I got a whole lot of vibes. I got a whole lot of vibes. I think every time people hear my music, they be like, "Hold up, you box or you rap?" You know, my stuff sound so good. People be like, they be confused about how can I do both? You know,
Mm.
we develop a pretty good fan base in Delaware. Y'all do shows and then we packed out and we turned up. It's just part of it's just part of what I do. It's my artistry. So my music is pretty much me. My rap style, if you asking that, is it changes because I give you some New York type of rap. If you want to say New York, like a more of a
East Coast.
like a like where you getting bars. But then I got some melodic stuff that I lean on too. So it's definitely a mix, and I'm talking to the ladies, and I'm talking to the people that been through what I've been through.
That's what's up. Who your top five right now?
I can't do
Active.
that. I'm not
No,
doing
not
that.
active.
I'm not doing that because I'm in the West Coast, and I'm not doing that. Come on, I'm not doing that. Nah,
All
not
right,
for real. I don't really have a. Rap is so many side genres in rap. Like you can't even compare everybody. Like you can't compare a little Dirk to Meek Mills. Like or you can't. They're
right.
different kind of style. They do different things. They're different vibes. Um, you talk about just pure lyricism. You already know. It's the Kendricks, it's the Drakes, it's the J Cole's, it's it's Nas is still freaking dropping like legendary albums at the age that he's dropping. Who can
Facts.
rap. It's your preference though. Music is all about preference. With boxing, you got to handle it in the ring. It's more opinionated on when it comes to music.
Would you say having bars is like having a jab? Like you never lose it? Like
Um, having bars, having bars is just the essential part of. You can't really compare it. Having bars is just the essential. Uh, it, it would touch the people. Words is what it is. It's poetry. It touches
right.
people. So it's just what makes music music. The words. But when you start adding melodies and stuff right in there, that's you get different kind of feelings. When you add them together, you get magic. So
Did you see Sinners?
I just seen that. I just
Okay.
seen that.
Ness
Whoa,
hated it.
whoa,
He
don't lead
trashed
the
it.
witness. Don't lead the witness. What was your opinion, champ?
Yeah.
um, I gave it an 8.7.
Whoa.
Okay.
I think. I
Okay.
think.
Not a
I
100 though.
think.
You see, not a 10 out of 10 like Rotten Tomatoes.
I think it was a good movie. It was some things and some character development I wish they went more into. I didn't like um this is what I didn't like about it personally. And it wasn't a big thing, but I'm a movie head, so certain things bother me. I
Yes.
don't like that they was vampires, but they was biting like they was zombies. I,
Because they
you know,
wanted to
I,
Mm.
confuse us. That's why the first
yeah,
one never fucking burnt in the sun. How you run to a house with the sun out? You ain't in flames.
Bro, he was
yeah,
flying.
yeah.
Flying. How you gonna
It
fly? You
was
get closer to the sun in the air. Come
it
on,
was it
Tone.
was it, wa- I feel like it was some inconsistencies with that. I didn't
Thank
really
you.
like that. I didn't like when they went to that fight scene. I didn't like how competitive the humans were with the vampires. I think that should have been just a slaughter. When all them vampires ran into that building and it was like 10 of them still there, they should have been dead. It shouldn't have been
Word.
no. It was a lot of competition. And if them vampires was doing what they was showing the vampires can do, I don't think that it should have been that competitive, that fight scene. But it was I wish it was a little more character development where they talk about the singer's dad, the young boy, the dad. I
Yeah.
wish we went more
Yeah.
into the.
Into the
I wish we
pastor.
went more. I wish we went more into that. Like if it was a backstory that I wanted more about. Remember the guys came to the house and they on the horses.
The
I wish
Indians.
they, yeah, I wish they gave a little bit more about a backstory between that. I kind of just wish the movie was maybe 30 minutes longer, and explain a little bit more about those points. But I think that the acting was great. I think that the casting was great, and I think the storyline was cool. So I gave it an 8.7.
Hey, I would have kicked the Asian lady out the joint. What about you?
Well,
I would have said, pack her up. Pack her
I
up.
talked about this too. First of all, I wouldn't even went that far. It would as soon as she would have been talking crazy, we would have put hands on her. Um, we would have had to put our hands on when she was talking all that. But we got to go outside. We would have put her outside. She would have
Bro,
been
it's
outside.
all her fault. Everybody came inside.
Yeah,
It's fucking
yeah.
her fault, man.
I ain't gonna lie. That would have been a problem for me. That would have been a big problem for me. I wouldn't have let that just go down. Everybody would look at. Everybody was looking real stupid. I wouldn't know what to do.
Um, we had someone tried to blame the white lady, which was
I thought she was cool.
Michael B. Jordan's girlfriend that he came back to. Not the other Michael B. Jordan with the heavyset girl, not him. The other Michael B. Jordan role. So they said, "Oh, it's her fault." But I'm like, Michael B. Jordan the one sent his girl out there to go find out if the vampires had money.
Nah, but she did suggest
Yeah,
she
but he
was a very
the man. He the
she
man,
was
and
a,
his brother told him like we ain't fucking with them. So he's supposed to tell his woman, bro, you heard what my brother said? We
yeah,
don't need that
it was
money.
definitely it was definitely on both ends, but she was very manipulative on about going outside. So she got her way, how women do. She got her way and she went outside. I think what's funny, and I think which is something that you should think about is all along all she wanted to do was be with him, and at the end of the day, she was with him.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
that was definitely a situation where she got her way. She did what she wanted, and that one that went down with me.
I ain't even pieced that together. You right. She
Yeah,
loved him and she ended up being with him at the end scene when they went to see their
exactly,
nephew.
exactly. So you know, maybe she was in on it. Maybe she knew if if this happened that they'll be able to be together forever. Maybe
Mm,
it's a deeper storyline.
definitely. We got a few more. You still got time?
Why she wanted to be at the party anyway? Remember, she was pressed to be at the party so bad.
I
Yeah,
mean, but she
she
wanted
was
to be there
wild.
because of Michael B. Jordan. Stack came back in town. She wanted her stack, man. You know
Yeah,
how it
but
be.
no matter how many times they try to kick her out, she wanted to stick around. I think it might have been an alternative motive to why she was there, and that might have
Mm,
been to be with him.
nice, nice. I like
Hey,
that
what about
little.
girl that didn't want to eat the garlic? She would have had to go too, bro. She had to go.
He trying to kill the singer, Ka.
I ain't
Nah,
gonna
man.
lie, the way she was gyrating around and singing, like, she probably would have had to go. She had to
What?
go. She was married. She was out here married, acting like she was like a little thotty. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, pack her up. Pack her
I
up.
That was crazy. That was crazy. Little
yo, yo,
thotty, she
she
was
she
going
met the
crazy.
nephew one day, same day for like 20 minutes, and let
Same
him invite
day,
her to the club and gave up
he
the nookie.
gave it up, gave up everything, and then went on stage and was gyrating in front of everybody, just getting it in, acting crazy. I thought she already got bit the way she was dancing and singing. I'm like,
Yo,
Bro, her husband woke up and don't know where his wife is at.
no, she didn't
It's
she
well,
die? She ended up dying.
she did.
Oh, well, she a vampire
yeah.
though, or did she die in the sun?
She died. I think she died. She
Mm,
died in the sun.
damn.
She stayed your ass with your husband.
You still got time for a few more?
Yeah, you good. Come
I
on.
got AB 2 times from Colorado. What is your favorite workout to do for boxing? Heavy bag, mitts, etc.
Uh, sparring,
Spawn. I got
sparring. Then probably sprints. I like doing sprints.
I got Tip Bellis. He said, Champ, who do you think wins in a matchup between Jerron Boots Ennis versus Jesus Ramos? Or Virgil
Boots.
Ortiz versus Jesus Ramos?
Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz. I think wins a tough fight, and I think that Boots will stop Ramos.
Mm. Commanders, Chiron, who are the top 3 fighters in your opinion right now? And what music gets you ready for fight night if you listen to music before a fight?
I listen to slow music. I listen to R&B music before my fights. I mean,
Like what?
listen a
Like
lot
what?
of
Like what?
like Jagged Edge, and I
Okay.
got the Jodeci and the
Nice.
Genuine and
There we go.
and the Brandy. I like feeling
Oh, so you
good.
like that old 90s 2000
Yeah,
R&B, not this
yeah.
new bullshit tone trying to.
Mario.
There we
Yeah, I like. I,
Let's go,
I li-
Mario.
yeah, yeah. So I listen to a lot. I like feeling good. Like I like feeling comfortable. I don't like being all rah before a fight. You know, some people try to get worked up and stuff. I go into the fight like it's a regular ass day. Um, and I think I get that's when you get the best performance when you just treat it like a regular day. You don't get too worked up. And what was the second question?
Um, top 3 fighters in your opinion right now, like active. Who are your top 3?
Um, Terrence Crawford. This is not pound for pound, but would you should ask me with top three pound for pound right now?
Nah, he said who are the top 3 fighters in your opinion right now? Top 3, I
In no
guess.
in no order. Terrence Crawford, um, NUA, Usyk, Canelo, uh, Javante Davis, Shakur Stevenson. Well, there's that seems to be like the guys that you always could see performing extremely well. I think Tiafimo looked really good. He's starting to get us back into that conversation.
While you answered this, this is a slight twist to the question that may require for you to build, right? So Alex Vega from West Palm Beach in South Florida says, "Why turn down the IBF eliminator with the unknown Olia when that sanctioning body is very known for ordering title shots faster than any of the other ones? When now you got to fight Hernandez and not really know do you get a title shot?"
Okay, so let me try to break this down. So depending on who you are, the you might get title shot faster. How many times has Lubin been beaten the double eliminator, title
Yeah, he
eliminator?
went through
How many
four.
times? Come on. So it's more so the circumstances. So I would have to have fought in Italy, which is an unknown country to me. I've never been to Italy. I would have fight there. That's his hometown. It would have been under his promotion the way that they had it like contracted up. I was going to go fight in there. It was going to be on the promotion. I was going to have representation there, but it was going to be you know more favored in that situation. Um, it's an IBF eliminator, and it is a situation where Jenovic, we don't know if he's moving up, we don't know if he's staying down, we don't know what's next for him. It might have been a possibility, but all this stuff is just ifs. You know what I'm saying? The main important thing that I thought was important to me is for me to be comfortable in going into this next fight. Training in America was important. Fighting here in America was better than fighting in Italy, and I think that this fight right here is just as important, as that unknown fighter, as you say. But everybody unknown till they know. You know what I mean? You don't sleep on no fighter. You don't look at fighters like that. That's the wrong way to look at somebody. Just because you don't know him today don't mean you can't know him tomorrow. We didn't look at him as worse or better than the guy I'm fighting now. It just was a situation about where the location was and all that. Like um yeah, like I said, with the easy road isn't really like what we look at. Like I don't really pencil that in. Like I don't really look at when I'm looking over stuff and we try to make decisions. I don't look at the easy road. I think what's important to me is getting myself prepared in the best way that I can. And some I see a lot of fighters go overseas and they get sick. Before they fight, they drinking the water is different consistencies of food. Like that was making me a little bit weary, especially not having the time to be over there long enough and all that. It was just some certain things that I felt more comfortable training here for this fight. But
Appreciate
but
you
that guy
elaborating.
but that guy can still get it. Like he's not like an issue. Like it wasn't the opponent. Like we could fight him next. Like I'm not. I don't give a fuck.
Hmm. Z Pacino, Chiron, salute and much respect for what you do in the ring. Talk to us about what makes Breadman a great coach and what's one of the toughest challenges of him being your coach.
What makes Breadman such a great coach is his boxing mind, the way that he methodically breaks down certain things and he makes it make sense in real life. And he relates it to boxing, like certain things that we do outside of the ring um when we that works on your mind to be able to perform at a high level. I think our chemistry that we built has made us even better together. And I think he's just a good person. It's good to have a good person in your corner. And he fights for me hard. And when we train, we don't. He know how far I can go. I know what he expects of me, and we trust each other.
That's also your manager, though, right?
Well, I'm managed by Al Heyman, and I work with Louis the Cubist.
Hmm.
Um, but uh, Birdman is like my advisor. Like
Okay.
that. It's like he's like a man. We real close, man. It's like my second father. Behind
Yeah.
my actual father.
I got Nathan that says, as a fighter, can you shed light on how much percent of the fight purse you get to keep after paying for managers, trainers, expenses in camp? Ask this because TKO Boxing would cut out such managers and they form a league and you get to use UFC Performance Institutes for free. Is it more useful for a fighter starting out when compared to other promotional companies?
I feel like a lot of people try to get too smart on this shit. Like it's like not that deep. Um, and I'll break it down real easy. As a fighter, you got to pay taxes at the end of the year. Everybody pays taxes.
Hmm.
As a fighter, you have representation. You got to pay representation. Just like if you was an actor, just like if you was a rapper, if you was whatever you are, you pay it for your representation. After you pay for everybody who helped you out along the way, that fronted you, or um, you know what I mean. Depending on your situation, you might need more money up front. So, say if I was a rich boxer, and I before I even started boxing, I was rich, I can invest in myself, and I wouldn't have need no upfront money to be able to start training camp.
A la Jake
But
Paul.
But a guy like Jake Paul, he can upfront all his costs of training camp. He can have a private training camp. He could do certain things with his money to be able to cut down on that cost. It's going to cost. It's an investment on your career. Um, it's not going to change. You're talking about we can use it. You can use the facility. Like these boxing gyms don't cost that much. Like to train at, you know what I mean? They're boxing gyms. You paying a lot of times you're paying for recovery. You're paying for maintenance on your body. Depending on how serious you are, you're paying on for different trainers. You're paying for different situations. Depending on how far you want to take it, you'll spend more and more money investment in yourself. But that's different for every person. You know what I mean? When people act like people take a bunch of money out of this and a bunch of money out of that. I've never had that problem. When it comes to that, I've done a lot of things myself, and when it comes to training camp, you put in what you gonna get. So if you got to spend $20,000 on training camp, you gotta do what you gotta do, or you might. But
You
I don't
broke
think
up. You say if
TKO
you got to
box.
pay, you broke up when you say if you got to pay 20,000 on training camp, you got to do what you got to do. What?
You gotta do what you gotta do, but that's part of the game. That's part of being prepared, and I think you get in what you put in. Um, and I think when you don't have the money, you find investors. Right, you see all the sponsors on the shorts, and you see all the other stuff like that. You find a way to invest in your business, and boxing is your business. I don't think that TKO is going to change that. I don't think it's going to make it necessarily better. I've seen some of them price points, and I've got paid more than that for a lot of my fights. So. Um, I think whatever works for you depends on your positioning too. Like coming out of the amateurs, depending on how great your amateur career is, can be based on how much you get paid when you first come out. Depending on how nowadays how big your social media following is, can get is a difference in how much you can get paid and stuff like that too. So I think it's changed. It's different for each fighter. I think that fans should get out of that money business though. Just watch the fights.
Word.
Like they trying
Um,
to overthink it.
not to put you in a tough spot. If you don't want to answer, don't answer. But based off what we seen on Friday, does that confirm to you that maybe Ryan was cheating, or was it just
Yeah.
Rolly came with the right game plan? Because I never seen him box so well. Like he didn't just win the fight; he outboxed Ryan Garcia.
I think it might have been just stylistically, he might have just been better. I don't really know what was going on with his training camp with his steroids and not steroids. The truth is he got caught. And that's all we can say. Yeah, if you get caught with it in your system, I mean, it is what it is. Um, and if that's the situation, that's the situation. I can't really go into it. I've never been caught with everything, anything before. I've never been tested positive for anything before. Um, So I don't know anything about that, but I think that watching in the ring, which I would, what I can talk about, it looked at like Ryan just couldn't get off. He was a little shell shock after getting hit with that hook, and it was kind of hard for him to figure out Rolly's complicated style. Even though Rolly can't box well purely, And I say purely like behind the jab and the double jab and the right hand and moving in a way where it used to. Because he does things unorthodox, it can mess up a fighter like Ryan who is used to somebody being in front of him doing what they're supposed to do. Ryan does, I mean, Rolly does everything backwards. So you got to kind of figure that out. So it was kind of hard for him to figure that out without getting caught. And once he got caught, he was not willing to take that risk.
Last one, champ. 450 says, "Hey, champ, how have your losses made you better? Excuse me, made you a better fighter in respect, champ."
That's a great question. Um, Man, I've had a long career. I turned pro at 2014, so that's 11 years. In different stages of my life, I took my losses. So like when I was 10-0, I took my first loss, and I learned a lot from that loss. I thought I won that fight, but it was a lot of circumstances around just going into that fight that I had learned from preparing, and also in the business wise, some things I didn't know. You know, things that I didn't understand. Like my second loss, I lost against Patrick Day. Rest in peace of Patrick Day. That was 2018. Like what I learned in that fight was like you can't be cutting weight that fast and thinking that you're gonna be okay. I was fighting at 154. I cut down from 194 in 4 weeks. Just not being prepared and having a lot of outside stuff going on and outside the ring that messed me up. So that I learned from that loss, and the loss against Benavidez, it taught me a lot about myself and my character and what I'm willing to be able to go through to get to where I want. Um, and every loss, it shapes me. I change in every fight, every loss I've developed and I get better. Like I'm a resilient person. If you watch my whole career, I've gotten better. Like nothing in my career has happened to me and I haven't gotten better. I'm the better fighter. I will knock myself out. When my 19, 21, 22 year old self out, I would knock my 22-year-old self out because I'm that much better than I used to be. So it's all about progress and getting better. Um, Not taking your wins and celebrating them, but taking your losses and celebrating those too and getting better. This is a marathon, and that's the first thing that Brad man ever told me when we first started linking together in the end of 2013. He told me this is a marathon. This is gonna be a long road. He said I can get you to 10-0, but after that you're gonna have to grind. And and we've been grinding. So I'm satisfied where I am right now in my career, and I'm proud of myself. But I also have so much work to do, and I'm ready to do that.
Champ, give out that social media, man. We appreciate you obviously jumping on and chopping it up with us.
Yeah, Kyle shut it down on everything.
All
I'll shut it
right,
down on
champ.
everything.
We appreciate you. Thank you for jumping on. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Tyrone Davis, the